old story that I heard yesterday. Yeah, it goes the headlines, man. They all just go to plan. They're framed and fixed and rigged. You know they're all just spam. So buckle down, plug right in, and close its way under your skin. Just got foul from the things they spout, and it won't make you shout. Give me that good news, because I'm tired of the same old shit. That good news, because I'm tired of the same old shit.
Good morning, guys.
Good
Welcome
morning.
to the ground.
Hi, everybody. It's Friday morning. Welcome to the grounds. I'm Kent. This is, of course, Steve. And
Nobody else today.
we have a ghost.
Yeah.
Remember when you were playing, like wiffle ball? Got a ghost runner.
Oh, yeah.
We got a ghost host.
So this is the guy that was driving my car when I jumped out and ran next to it.
Yes.
Yeah,
This is the
I
ghost
gotcha.
host right here, right here. Shoot. It's a beautiful Friday. It's June the 13th, Friday the 13th. And today on the grounds, we're going to be discussing pieces of paper. Actually, the power of a piece of paper.
Yes, indeed.
And this is an incredible show. So, right underneath me here, that guy right there, that's Uncle Pete. He's got a link. If you click that link and throw it in your URL, you are absolutely 100% going to be on this show.
Yes, indeed.
It'll be like you're live in studio with us, but you're not live in studio with us. You're just absolutely not. Yeah. Scott, of course, you might be asking, where's Scott? Well, of course,
He's having technical difficulties.
he's out in Galena. It says the internet's not acting right in Galena. Here's the funny thing. You can actually get this using your phone data. Anyway, what do I know? But we want to welcome everybody in. Don,
Morning,
good
Don.
morning, all the way from Texas, right?
Yeah, grapevine.
No, he moved. Remember?
Oh,
now,
that's right. Yeah.
now he's up in whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joyful Hill. I don't know. Anyway,
Well, morning, Don.
so here's the deal. And here's what I'm talking about. The power of a piece of paper is really for Americans. I know.
Yeah.
So Monday night, my daughter Lucy, 15 years old, and she's driving Aubrey. Yes, I love her. Yeah, Aubrey, Texas. Here, let me do something.
Yeah.
It was cutting me off a little bit. I don't like. I got to be at the center of attention here.
It's better now.
Better. So Lucy's 15, going to be 16 here in a couple weeks. She's driving the Brownie, driving the big,
Oh, yeah?
the Toyota Sequoia 5.7 liter V8. And I'm sitting here in the passenger seat, and she's driving wonderfully. Very good driver, very good kid. But I go, 2 months ago, if she's like, "Hey, Dad, can I drive home?" I'm like, "No, you can't drive home. What are you, crazy?" But now that she has a little piece of paper that says, "I have a permit and I
Yeah.
can drive," I trust her with this 3,000-pound bullet all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And
Big old
it got me to thinking that we here in America put so much effort and belief and faith into a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And we go, yeah, no, go ahead. Drive this thing. Maybe I've seen her drive a golf cart once or twice, but a golf cart only goes 5-10 miles an hour, whatever.
Right.
So what is it that puts us at ease when we see a piece of paper? My son-in-law, Jake, just graduated medical school.
Yep.
And now he's got a degree. Now he's a doctor.
Yep.
Okay. And I go, No, I'm asking him questions. Hey, does this look like cancer? What you're asking him things that you never asked before because now he's got a piece of paper. If you were to walk into my office, I'm like, yeah, no, I'll give you a physical. I'm a doctor, and you didn't see a degree hanging on the wall, you'd be like, hey, you know what? I'm not turning my head and coughing for another 15 minutes.
And more than that, there better be several on that wall. If there's just one, it's like, what were you doing? My last doctor had like 10.
Right. But I mean, what is it about pieces of paper in America that we go, oh, okay, right?
Well, I mean, is it just America? I mean,
I've never been outside of America, so I can't say.
So I mean, one of my favorite examples of the power of a piece of paper is because all paper and same thing is true with the driving permit and all of that. It has the value that we ascribe to it. All technically a dollar bill is a promissory note. You get a physical dollar bill. That piece of paper doesn't have any more value than $100 bill. Inherently, it's the value that we ascribe to it.
Yeah,
we agree that it has a monetary value.
Yeah,
but it is at the end of the day just a piece of paper. It's a concept.
Shane, welcome in. Good morning. Says it's all programming. And Sam, good morning. Mr. Hammer says a great quote from Yellowstone, Kevin Costner: the cows don't know they roamed on to your land from mine. Why do we need little paper books, passports that tell where we can roam when it's all Mother Nature? And Don rolls in and says Leonardo DiCaprio was a doctor in the movie Catch Me If You Can. Just took some certificates on a wall.
Yep.
Oh yeah, or suits. You know, you look suits, right? The smart guy he passed the bar several times for other people, but he never went to Harvard or whatever, right?
Never went to law school.
And so you kind of sit here and go, oh, well, yeah. What I mean, no doubt, Don, no doubt. Yeah. So the key is, but yes, and a pilot. But the key is, it doesn't matter till you have a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, the piece of paper represents the education. Like if I walk in and I see a diploma on the wall, I'm probably not going to question it too hard. I'm going to assume that diploma represents a significant time investment in medical school. It
means you stuck around and are in serious debt.
Right. No, and there's nothing. Somebody had to graduate bottom of their class from medical school.
Absolutely.
Somebody had to get drunk and barely show up just enough to get past. They showed up. They begged their teachers. They said, "Hey, please let me do a makeup paper or something." The teacher's like, "All right, I'll let you scrape by. I'll give you a pass fail. You get."
I went to school with your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get you through. A piece of paper says that. Piece of paper says that. This is the house you own. Yeah. A piece of paper says you were speeding and now you owe us $150. If we don't get that piece of paper, we certainly don't feel the need to pay that $150. Right?
Yeah.
You can't just roll into my house and say it's mine now, like they used to with caves back in the day, because I have a piece of paper.
Yeah.
It says this belongs to me.
It's Sam said something interesting because the passport thing always did get me. My entire life, I've always been like, you mean I have to have a piece of paper to travel around? And then you watch one of my favorite Western, a big Western fan.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Westerns is The Ballad of Cable Hogue.
Okay.
And it's so wild because dude just wanders out into the desert. He's about to die, and he digs and finds water. Now he goes to the local office or whatever. They write him a little piece of paper. Now he owns 30 square miles of desert.
Yeah.
And he builds he builds like one of the first gas stations on that little plot of land. But it's so weird. It's just he found himself there. He was like, this is my land now. Little piece of paper said it was his land. It's like,
and now it is.
Yeah. County filed that piece of paper away, and he had 30 square miles of desert was his. How weird is that? Like to think about.
I mean, when you think about it, you take a look at, why are the 10 Commandments broken so often? It's because they weren't written on a piece of paper.
I feel like if anything has more weight, it's chiseled into stone.
Well, but it's not
Like,
a piece. We don't put as much faith in that.
If you send me a shitty text, I'm gonna brush it off.
Right.
If you chisel an insult into stone and mail it to my house, that's going on my wall, and I will be like, every day I'm gonna look at it and be like, do better, Steve.
That's right. It just fascinates me, whether it's programming, whatever the case may be, but it fascinates me how easily, I went to college, and I've probably got as much college needed for a master's degree, but not in one specific area.
Yeah.
But I don't have a bachelor's degree. You're out looking for jobs. It's a bachelor degree you must have.
Yep.
And I'm like, I can literally, the college that I went to is no longer a college. It's defunct, right? Mount St. Clair College out of Clinton, Iowa. I could literally go online, AI, and create my bachelor's degree from Mount St. Clair College, and guess what? How would they know?
Right, they wouldn't. I mean, I'm sure a thorough enough check would be able to find that, but nobody's doing that check. Like a piece of paper is just now yours.
Right.
Yeah.
Shana says it's the same thought process that allows people to drop kids at Boy Scout camp. Trust in the civil agreement of society. Crazy if you think about it. Yeah, super flex insult.
It would be.
It would be. Right. Yeah, but that's it. Oh yeah, no, here I've got my daycare certificate here.
Yeah.
I'm licensed in the state of Illinois, daycare certificate.
Yeah.
Right here. Right here. Steve walks in with a couple of concealed carrying pew-pews.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? This guy's crazy. And then he lays down his piece of paper, says, no, here's my concealed carry. I'm allowed to have these. I'm like, oh, hey.
Yeah, totally fine.
Love you. Bye. Can I get you a drink? Right? You know what I mean? And now with everything going on in the United States, but all you need, I got a piece of paper says I'm okay.
Yep.
I can be here. I guess so. You know what?
Piece of paper says I'm fine.
Piece of paper says I'm fine. Shannon says some of the most ignorant people I have met have been highly credentialed. Yes, absolutely.
No, I worked with kids previously. I taught swimming lessons for ages 4 to 14 at Harper College. And I was in the aquatic department for a long time. It's a 4-hour Red Cross certification course. No child like child raising courses or working with children courses required.
Right.
Just the Red Cross certification to do child CPR and first aid. Then I get a group of 10 children, impressionable 4 to 14-year-olds, and it's just me and 10 kids, and I'm responsible for these kids for the next 2 hours in a public pool where they could die. Like a 4-hour course authorized me to take other people's children in mass and take them on an excursion. And I always thought that was crazy.
We
never had any problems. Kids learned how to swim. Everything ended up being okay. But I always thought that was crazy. I was like, if that was me, I'm probably going to follow the class out. Like I'm going to be watching. Most likely. It's
so true. I don't know, I'm assuming because you got a job at a school that you are a certified teacher. I don't know. Right. I don't know what the school did. And,
morning, Tim.
And hey, Mr. Santos, how are you, brother? His son just graduated high school, got a nice certificate.
Yeah.
And now a college will go, oh, okay, you got a certificate. We'll now take your money for the next 4 years.
Yep.
And come on in. Right.
Yep.
And I got a piece of paper that says I own this vehicle. I've got a piece of paper that says the bank and I own this vehicle, right? So
well, contracts in general is just another form of people using a piece of paper. I mean, right, signing any contract between two people, whatever's written on there, I mean, that paper could be 1,000,000 words long, it could be 3 words long,
Right.
and it means whatever you wanted it to
Whatever you wanted it to.
Yeah. And then you stick by it because of less because of the piece of paper. But for some people, it's like, oh, my signature's on a piece of paper, I have to do that. Other people, it's like, well, this is an agreement between us. It means what we put into it. That's more of the spirit.
Employment
Yeah.
is a contract between, but here to employ means to use, right? So you're an employee, you're being used, but you have an agreement. I'm going to do said work for said money.
Yeah.
But here's what happens. I come to you and I say, I know what we said on the piece of paper. You're doing said work for said money.
Mm-hmm.
But now you have to do more said work for the same money. And literally we go, okay, 'cause otherwise I'm gonna be fired. No, listen, here's what we agreed to.
Yep.
Now you're asking me to do somebody else's job. Well, I need their money too.
Right. Or a big raise. Fucking
Yeah.
split the difference.
Yeah. So Shana says, I was deputized to assist the flight crew work the exit.
Yeah, no, and you had to pay more money for the extra legroom
That's true.
to give up your seat last.
Right.
You got to stay on there while everyone walks past you, assist your fellow passengers, and
Right.
pay more money for the legroom.
Right.
Outrageous.
Seat 11C is where you want to be, I guess, because that was the only survivor from that India.
Oh,
plane.
really?
Yeah. So if you're traveling, look for seat 11C.
11C. All right.
That's the one you want. But I'm trying to go back and I'm trying to think, right? I don't know how smart I am, but I got a piece of paper that said I got a 3.25 GPA.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if I got a piece of paper with a red A and a circle on it. I don't know that I did real well or learned anything, but that piece of paper says that I did.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate thing is, what happens when you lose that piece of paper?
Yeah. I mean, if you're working really hard at something, so like the piece of paper is just a representation. If you learned something, you learned something. If a piece of paper says you got an A and you feel like you didn't learn anything, then that's right. The problem is we take these pieces of paper and we ascribe too much to them because there is no other way. It's like Shayna said, bunch of idiots with great credentials. But we don't have another way to immediately assess somebody. When you're looking at a resume, you're not having a conversation. You're looking at a list of credentials, a list of pieces of paper that they can provide to you that prove that they are who they claim to be. Because it's the easiest, most concise way to list what appears to be somebody's qualities.
Right.
Certainly could not be true. People all the time have mad credentials and they're idiots.
Oh, absolutely.
And
absolutely
just couldn't perform a task that you ask them to do to save their life, but they have the credentials, and yet we put a lot of stock into that. It's like, oh, this guy's got that 4-year degree. Well, it's easier than talking to every single person and finding out who they are as individuals. It's like, cool, we can narrow it down by half because these people have this piece of paper, so we can mentally do that math.
Yeah, 33 years ago today, I got a piece of paper that said Alice was married to me.
Yeah.
Right. That's 33 years ago today. So I'm fortunate that she hasn't lost that piece of paper. So I know she's listening. She's not. I know she's listening, but a happy anniversary, baby. I love you. And, let's do at least, 53 more. Don says the piece of paper gives a person the same initial credibility. Proof is in the pudding once you have time to see them in action.
Yep.
True, but I mean, big fan of pudding. That's. But I come in and I see a thing saying that you're ASE certified.
Yep.
Oh, you can work on my car. Go for it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
But I feel warm right? I think it was, Chris Farley and Tommy Boy. Well, I can stamp guaranteed on a piece of shit. No, that's a guaranteed piece of shit.
So
You
so I think a great example when we worked at the bank, right?
Yeah.
They paid for me to get all these licenses.
Yeah,
All
all of
these
them.
licenses. They're Series 6 and 63 and 7 and 66 and insurance, variable
Yeah.
insurance producers license and all this
Yeah.
other stuff, right? And they paid for all of that. They're like, yeah, you're going to get it. As soon as I had those, that's public knowledge. The state files that you
Yeah.
got those licenses. It doesn't say that you're employed currently. And so everybody can just see that you have acquired this credential possibly on your own.
Congratulations.
They don't know why.
Right.
And what is your mailbox filled with for the next like 6 months? Job offers.
Job offers.
Job offers from a billion people that are trying to take advantage of the fact that you got
Hey,
those
so you got
credentials.
those licenses.
Now, every time I opened one and I read the job title and they're like 200 grand to come do this job for us. And it's like the second I set foot in there, you're going to know that I took a test, I passed the test and I got my certification. I have no fucking clue what any of this means.
Right.
Like
Or how
I've
to do
never
it.
handled a customer account before, but I have all these impressive certifications that say that I am qualified to. I am not. I'm in no way, shape, or form qualified to handle your money. But all these things behind me say that I absolutely can.
I've never done this before, but
Well, and then funny
That's it.
enough, like even though I am qualified, my job was to take your money and then hand it to somebody who is actually more qualified.
right.
All of those pieces of paper were just to instill confidence in you to hand me your
That's
money.
what I'm saying.
That was it. I don't do anything with your money. I hand it to the guy right behind me, James. Be like, hey, James, I got another one for you. Here's like 100 grand or whatever.
Right.
And he'd be like, cool, we'll get this into an investment account, blah, blah, blah. Set it all up. I take a portion of commission. That's it. My job is done. And I've used none of the skills that I've acquired, but I have my pieces of paper.
That's right. Which, by the way, are only good for a year because then you got to do continuing education to maintain that piece of
Yeah,
paper.
they
Because if
pay-
you don't, then and if you're not working, you can't just hold on to those. You have to be able to park them someplace. Otherwise, no good either.
I tried to convince the next bar I worked at that it would behoove them to keep my licenses.
Right.
They were like, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
real estate.
And I was like, it was worth a try, man.
Real estate agents are the same way too, right? You got to have a house to park it at.
Yeah.
Shayna says we are always looking for shortcuts to the answers. That's why Reddit and the socials, even AI, are looked to. It's work to think. Yeah. We are a society that has lost the ability to critically think, and when you are a person who critically thinks, you're shunned on and a disruptor at that
Mhm.
point. All you need is a piece of paper that says you are a critical thinker, and then just show it to people. I'm a critical thinker. I got it right here. It says on this piece of paper. Right?
They still doing that over at MCC? When you enter college, they do the critical thinking assessment. They print you out a piece of paper that says,
Oh, I don't know. They might.
when I went there, they gave you
Yeah.
a piece of paper. It literally said you do a critical thinking assessment and it places you in a percentile, and then you take that to
Well, they may. I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
no, which is funny because they literally give you a piece of paper that tells you how good you are at thinking, which I think is ridiculous, but it is.
It is what it is. But how many arguments, online arguments with people and who get mad about your opinion or whatever would be ended if you just followed up your thought with a picture of a piece of paper that says you're a critical thinker. I got it right here. And people are gonna be like, "I'm so sorry, Steve. I shouldn't have got mad at you."
Yeah, no,
I see you're critically thinking, and I know.
you chose the one arena where all of your credentials and degrees and pieces of paper mean absolutely jack shit, which is the arena of online discourse. You can say, I have a triple PhD, and that's not how vaccines work. And you'll have somebody being like, I'm an expert. I know better than you.
Yeah.
And that's it. And your PhDs now mean nothing.
Nothing.
You could be an expert in investments and give financial advice to somebody who's like, no, I'm going to go put this in a slot machine. And they are more of an expert than you.
That's
Your 10 years of financial advice mean absolutely nothing because you're talking to somebody online.
That's right.
Who doesn't care about your piece of paper.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
Where is Scott today?
I don't know.
I was just laughing because he's still figuring out that internet. What do you? You know what, Don? I'll tell you what. I know a bunch of people that got ordained online. I think that's funny as well.
Right.
It's like, and even when I got married, I went to Scotland, married in Scotland. The guy came out, he did a ceremony and whatever, and the cost of getting a marriage certificate in Scotland and then transferring said marriage certificate to the United States was substantially more than just doing it in the United States. So we did not get a piece of paper in Scotland. We just had our ceremony. We got a piece of paper in the United States.
Yeah. And that's the same thing. A book. Oh, you wrote a book. Now you are an expert because I have all these pieces of paper inside this cover that says you know what you're talking. No, actually, it just means I was able to throw a bunch of garbly goop down on paper and self-publish it.
Oh yeah.
And you bought it.
Especially in this day and age.
Right. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
You know what, Don? I bought a shiny purple suit and I had a purple kilt, and the pictures are on Facebook. I'll put some of those up on 216 for you later.
Yeah. Got
married at a castle on a cliffside overlooking the North Sea. It was wonderful.
And that's, I mean, this is, we'll go into the online or ordinations. There are a lot of, I'm air quoting for those who can't see, a lot of Christian pastors, leaders who are not ordained.
Yeah.
One runs a very, very large church in Texas, has a house about the size of McHenry. It kind of rhymes with,
Joel Osteen.
Yeah.
Rhymes with that.
But if you can present yourself well, you're going to be fine, right? But my dad went to got his master's in theology at Wartburg Seminary. My brother got his master's in theology, I think in California or something, whatever. But we put a lot of faith in those people, and then we realize they're human and maybe they don't know what they're talking about. My family does. They're very intelligent beings. And yeah, I'm with you. I mean, if you follow, Gary Vee, Gary Vee will say that. Why do kids have to memorize anything when they can just pick up their phone and go, what's the Fourth Amendment? And the phone's going to be like, here it is. What's the capital of this? Here it is. Right. It's just a different time. Right. Did you wear a kilt? He says, during your wedding, Steve.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, good. The credential system must be upheld or the whole pay to play fails or falls. Yeah, and that's what I mean. That's where we as a society, especially here in America, put faith in that. Now listen, I throw money on a monthly basis to an insurance company that has every right to go no.
Yep.
When you go to make a claim. Sorry, no.
Yeah.
Right. Here in Illinois and basically all over the United States, because of all of the fires, all of the hails, storms, now these insurance companies are like, we're only going to give you a couple $100 for that roof. We're not going to replace it.
Yeah.
Right. And you're like, wait, I've been paying thousands of dollars a year, right?
We have a signed contract.
I've literally over my lifetime paid more in monthly premiums than what my auto insurance covers. I should have just thrown it into an account.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if I needed it, I could just go, oh, here's $250,000. Right. If you need it. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I goofed your car. Here's $30,000. Right.
No, I mean, that's the
Web Love 32's rolling in. Education, I feel like, shows discipline depending on the job, especially non-essential jobs. But now essential jobs don't require an education. They prefer experience. Glad you got up today, Kelsey. That's good. Thank you. It's wonderful for that. You are sitting right. You're the ghost host, Kelsey.
But yeah, the degree shows that you were able to sit and grind through the education system and put
4,
your head
6,
down.
8, 10 years,
Yeah,
whatever.
for however long
Mhm.
it took to get the required degree. So it does show that you can put your mind to a task. and complete it.
Stick-to-itiveness.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And then on top of it, like the internet does exist. I completely agree. You can get a top quality education if you so desire and put the time and effort into it. But there's no piece of paper that's going to say that I did that, and there's nobody looking over my shoulder to say I've acquired the knowledge that I have.
Right.
Whereas if I attend a college, they will give me a piece of paper that says that I have put the time and effort into acquiring that knowledge.
Right. Yeah, that's the whole, to me, the cat's meow is what I see. You know what? Let's take time to do this.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for taking a coffee break with us. We'll be back to our program in a minute, but hey, Drew, let's talk Piano Trends music for a minute here.
Piano Trends, one of my favorite conversations. We're talking trumpets, we're talking pianos, we're talking saxophones, trombones, trumpet, you name it, guitars, acoustical guitars, customized guitars, lessons. Listen, books. They got everything. PianoTrends.com. Please check them out. Tim, what is it that you're known for at Piano Trends?
Service, rentals, sales, repair, lessons, everything. We're the small shop that does everything in our community.
Love it. Check them out. Shoot them a quick address if they want to come visit you.
35 Berkshire Drive, Crystal Lake, Illinois. But you can find everything on the website at PianoTrends.com.
PianoTrends.com. Thanks, folks.
See you later.
There you go. PianoTrends.com. So Shayna says during the breaks, I think it was the started giving written tests in PE.
Is where we went wrong.
Right.
I don't think I ever got a written test in PE.
Instead of climbing the rope to 40 feet, we'll put a 2-inch mat underneath you for safety.
We didn't climb the rope either. I just remember the guy used to come
That's
by
what
in the
she
weight
said.
room and just yell in my face. And I'd be like, it's like a 45-minute gym class. If I'm
Right.
not on a team or anything.
Right.
Calm it down.
Kel says, never understood why each law enforcement municipal department have a test, especially for us who received our 4-year degree. And we couldn't pass, quote unquote, their civil test. Why isn't law enforcement more like medical, where there is one test and you can get hired technically anywhere? Yes, that's that's true. But but here's what I will say is, like Jacob is emergency medical doctor, and he can't make doctor money until after 2 years of residency.
Well, yeah.
Hey, come in. We're gonna let you practice for a couple of years.
Yeah.
We're not gonna pay you. Another scam, but you still owe us $600,000.
Doctors is one of those, man, where you're a doctor, but you're a doctor with your education, but you're not really a doctor
Right.
until you've completed your time.
Right, and you're not stepping into my court of law unless you have passed the bar and have this
Yeah.
certificate saying that you are
And
a
put
lawyer.
X amount of time in.
Right. Shana says I was about 10 years ahead of the investment curve with online accredited universities. That one hurts. The sorting rope. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Bad. Oops. Well, that went wrong fast, didn't it?
I never saw that Harry Potter, but I assume it was rough.
I gotta clear my contacts. Let me rub my eyes a little bit there. Ooh, all right.
Followed by the Tramp of Destiny. I don't know.
The trampoline. Oh my gosh. Has always concerned me that doctors are always practicing, and lawyers, right? You practice. Get in the game, damn it. Come on.
You know what I love? When I make an appointment with my doctor, who is a really, really, really old man, is I love when I go to make an appointment and they're like, no, he's out of town right now. He's at a medical conference learning about XYZ. And it's like, awesome.
Right.
He's an old man and he's still going to medical conferences,
Still
learning
learning.
about the newest medicine,
Right.
learning about the newest procedures.
Yeah.
And dude's like 80 years old. Like he should be retired. he does. He's not. He's still doing family medicine,
Still likes,
and he's killing it. But yeah, guy gets me every time because it's like he at his age, he
Yeah,
can
old guy.
comfortably be like,
Old guy is always asking you to turn your head and cough, and you're like, I came in for an earache.
Right. Where are my pants?
Okay, doctor. Well, hey, I see you got a degree up there, and you were
Yeah,
just.
you're the expert. Huh?
I don't know. Hey, that's right. That's right. The way that I look at it, it just dawned on me, right? Especially in America. I don't know outside because I've never been outside of America. You have, right? Is piece of paper. We put a lot of faith into a piece of paper. We put so much of our faith, trust into that piece of paper, right?
Yeah.
We love music, but musicians, unless they got sheet music, but I mean, right? You're like, you're pretty talented. That's good, but you know what I mean? There's nothing to say, oh my God, you're the best musician ever, right?
Yeah.
Liberace or Chopin or somebody like that.
Yeah.
They wrote the music,
Mhm.
and it's on paper, so we're like, this is a classic. This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Right?
The original. Yeah.
Nikola Tesla, not so much on paper. Whoops. And we know what happened, right? We started. We fight and argue about a piece of paper here in America all the time, right? You got to uphold the Constitution. It's on a piece of paper, right here.
Yeah.
It's not wrong.
Mhm.
Paper. And we're like, that's how it works, right there. That's how it's supposed to work.
One of the more famous pieces of paper that we put stock into.
Right. Let's see. Kelsey says, yeah, but just all 4-year degree applicants in law enforcement to go straight to the police academy and see if they pass. Poor choice of words. He's killing it.
Yeah.
Right. How do I get on with you? Well, Kelsey, that might be a whole different show.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
You got a buddy up to Uncle Pete.
That's right. Copy that and throw that right into your URL. Or if you're out there on the YouTube, you might be able to see that on YouTube as well. So if you copy that, you'll be right there. It's in there. It's in there. Let's hide that current. It was like an epiphany for me as Lucy's driving, right? It's like an epiphany. And I'm like, 6 weeks ago, she was said, Dad, can I drive home? There's a piece of me might have said, yeah, but I would have been like, get out of here. You're not ready.
Yeah.
She took an online test at school.
Yeah.
And here is your piece of paper that says, you are okay to drive now with a parent or somebody in the front seat. Now, growing up, I mean, we had bench seats and, they're different things. This is a big truck. It's bucket seats. There's a big armrest. And I'm sitting here like, there's really nothing I can do other than yank a steering wheel.
Yeah.
You can't, move her leg to, it's weird.
What's funny about that too is that like, what she's capable of,
right.
Or her father.
Yeah.
But legally now that she's allowed to get behind the wheel, it's like I'm 10 times more comfortable knowing if we get pulled over, you flash that piece of paper, we're gonna be fine. Whereas if you didn't have that piece of paper, we get pulled over, they're taking the car.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna get in trouble for having you behind the wheel.
Yeah,
like,
and to Shayna's point, right? Ever wonder if your insurance company will hold up their end of the agreement? They all have the right paper.
Yep.
But yes, and that's what I mean. I pay a lot of money. They say they're going to insure, but they can also say, no, I know we said your house was going to cost this if it burnt down to rebuild. Unfortunately, we're only going to cover this amount.
Yep.
Because that's what we feel like.
So like what is it? 99% of law is litigating pieces of paper.
Correct.
So what happens then? I hire a lawyer. My lawyer litigates about the piece of paper that my insurance company signed. Now I'm in an argument with my insurance company in a courtroom, arguing over what exactly they owe me based off of that piece of paper.
Right.
But most of law is just figuring out who's on the right side of a piece of paper.
But that's it. You know, and now, you know, to travel, to do things, you have to have, you know, I mean, at one time, driver's licenses were a piece of paper. You have a piece of paper that's your social security card.
Yeah.
No, that's my number.
How stupid is that?
That's my number. I have this piece of paper that says that's my signature from when I was 8.
Yeah. Don't lose this. This means everything for your life, and we're gonna give it to you on a piece of flimsy paper.
Right.
Oh, don't worry, I'll laminate it. No, you're not allowed to.
Not allowed to. Do not do that. Whatever you do. Hey, look, it's Kelsey Love, everybody. Come on.
Hey, Kelsey.
Morning.
Good
morning.
morning.
How you doing?
I'm awake now. How you doing?
That's good. That's good. Yeah, so the piece of paper, and Kelsey and I joked on our chat stream was, you know, we trust a single ply toilet paper pretty much too. A lot of faith in that.
Yeah.
And because when you go to the hospital or you go to a public place, you don't get the quilted comfy stuff.
No, but you fold it multiple times.
Yeah.
You do?
Oh yeah.
Wait, what?
You go someplace that's got the single ply, it's going to be scraping.
Took
Whatever.
me-
You fold it 6 times. Now you've got 6 ply.
Oh, I don't do that. I just sit there and dab for hours.
Oh,
Not quite yet. Single ply,
pieces.
right?
Okay.
Yeah. What's Shayna say here? Okay, we're on this one. Examining the why will leave you in a weird space. You don't know why we feel or do half of what we do. Rare is the self-aware. Single ply, 3 times as much used. Yeah, that's what Kelsey said in the chat. She's like, it's capitalism because you got to use as much
Yeah.
and you got to buy more.
Yeah.
That's it.
You ever buy a 12-pack of toilet paper and it tells you you're buying 33 rolls, and then you have to do toilet paper math?
Yeah.
And you're like, I can see I'm buying 12 rolls, and they're like, right, but it's equal to 33 of that brand. And it's like, it's not though. I'm looking at that brand too. It's the same size.
Right.
But
It's the same 12.
don't tell me I'm getting 33 rolls at a time. It's buying 12 rolls.
Yeah.
Right, 12 rolls.
Yeah, bumper sticker for the day. Rare is the self-aware. We'll be a little sunshine here today.
You got to be a little sunshine.
Sunshine.
That's what the show's about.
We don't have Scott here doing the squeeze box today though.
No.
I guess he doesn't know that you can get on your phone and get on here.
It
We
must
should
be
have
an age thing.
we should have wrote something on a piece of paper and handed it to him.
Yeah, should have said something to him.
Yeah.
You're gonna mess with him now. We should find a way to do that.
Yeah. 33 years been married to my beautiful bride today.
Congratulations.
We were-
Aw,
Is crazy, right?
And then
Congratulations, old man.
well, we're
Thank you.
announcing congratulations. So my wife, 35 years old on Sunday, and my mom, her first day working as an official participant of CASA with her first client.
Nice.
So-
Today. That is exciting.
That is
Thank you. That's a big
good news all the way around.
everybody's happy everywhere. And then right
Happy
after
Father's Day.
yes, thank you. Right after this, I get to run home and hang out with my grandson. And then we'll be back. Then we'll be back at 3 for Two Gregarious Guys today. A great new show. It's edgy. It's on the cusp. They're talking about childhood baggage and chaos, family baggage, stuff like that. It's gonna be a good show. It's gonna be a good show. I'm feeling old. Don says Steve's wife is 35. I've been married for 35 years. Yeah, well, you should feel old. Don.
Yeah.
You are.
Well, Don, I'm only 32, so congratulations.
That's it. That's
Sorry
it.
about that, Dan. Yeah.
So is his wife. Hey, thank you very much. I'm sorry. Put that on a piece of paper.
Yeah, no. He did 35 years ago,
Right.
and she hasn't been able to leave him since.
That's right.
Yeah.
Can't. It's right here.
Yeah. Every time she tries,
That-
he pulls out the paper.
That's why I think Catholics annul it. They rip up the piece of paper. Nope, never happened. Yep, you're good.
Paper's gone. That didn't mean
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, there's at least 7, Don. many people don't get to live this many years. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
7, at least 7 out there. So Kelsey, any other piece of paper? I mean, your comments are great. Thank you, and thanks for jumping on. What is it about paper and
I mean, I think it's more honestly is like a resume builder. Depending on the positions you go to, they want to see like all the different certifications. You know, like that's a big thing as well. Like I could probably come straight out of education, but as long as I got like Excel, you know,
Yeah.
a certification, a Word, and Outlook, it's like it puts me in the top of food chain in a sense.
yeah,
So people tend to look at you more than somebody else who doesn't, even though that other candidate might be better than I am on the job.
yeah, it's so true. And yeah, hey, send me your resume.
Yep.
Because I'm not going to believe a word you said unless you put it down on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Now I have it on a piece of paper or in an email that I can print out on a piece of paper. And well, I believe it now.
Yeah.
And everyone is like, can we call your previous? No, you don't know if I'm lying or not.
Right.
I see your previous employers all have the same number. Yeah, my buddy Steve. He's going to vouch for me. Hello.
Oh yeah, him. I had to fire him. He was too hard working. Yeah, he made us all look bad. Yep.
Which company did it say? Yeah. That's a Steve. I'm the right Steve. Then.
He was great at pouring concrete.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I mean running cable. That's what I said.
Yeah. No one ever but it's on paper. So if it's on paper, it's like I believe you now because your resume is there. But it's true because Kelsey may be far better at leading a team than I am, but my resume is 2 pages longer than hers because of my age. And they go, we'll go with the hey, look, he's got the credentials right here. We'll go with you. Right now, it's not so much, Kelsey. They'll be like, nope, she's 32. We'll go with her. We got a lot longer time with her. When they really don't know that most people only stick around for 2 to 3 years now. Anyway, it's no longer a 30-year gig, but and they'll never keep you around 30 years because once you get to my age, they'll be like, you're making too much money. We'll bring in the 32-year-old and start back at the bottom.
Well, you know, there's not really an alternative that we have to the resume.
There
I
is.
mean, we're required to list our credentials and pad that list and make it sound as good as possible to try to trick somebody.
And now make sure you have keywords in there so AI grabs it.
Yep, so that AI grabs your resume off of there.
Yeah.
And I mean, to a degree, it has its purposes. It's got its usefulness. You know,
I've hired hundreds of maybe even thousands of people over my lifetime. And the most time I've ever spent on somebody's resume is probably 30 seconds. I don't look at, I mean, what I look at gaps. You know what I mean? There's certain things that I look for. And so I'm like, you know,
yeah.
So like on my resume, I switched it because I've got 20 years in banking. So instead of putting the last 20 years down, I just put banking, financial institution, 20 years. Here are the companies I worked for.
Yep.
And here's what I did.
Yep.
Right. And because I'm like, why would I spend 18 pages of this is what I did at each one? Right. It's a good thing no one lies on resumes. Regional manager at KB Toys.
Yeah, chef at the Sizzler. No, it's funny because I used to do that all the time. I would pick a business that was closed and I would put a random job that I did for them.
Yeah. And
I would put that on. I mean, right now I guarantee there's one on my resume.
Sure.
Just at least one of where because I'll just make up something that's closed. If I'm applying for a job, I'm not specific. If I know my resume doesn't look like I'm qualified for it, I'll throw something in there.
Yeah.
If I'm confident enough that I can do the job, if they call me, I'll make my resume look as good as I need to for them to call me.
No, I was chief operating officer at Blockbuster.
Yeah. So you didn't know Blockbuster had a CFO? It was me.
It was me. Yeah. I was that guy. I actually ran 4 cities worth of Blockbusters back in the day. Regional manager at KB Toys. Exactly.
I was the market manager for TCF of Illinois. Oh, you didn't know that?
Yeah, nice.
Where are they? Oh, they're not in Illinois anymore. You can't.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, but if you call up to Michigan, I'm sure they'll confirm that.
Yeah, they'll vouch. They'll vouch.
Fine.
Yeah, they'll vouch. Yeah. CFO at Blockbuster may not help you. Yeah, it may not. It may not.
Yeah.
But it's experience that counts, and that's on paper. So you believe that I knew exactly what I was doing.
Yeah. Well, and,
Well, I didn't say when it was going
I
on.
was going to say we all know
It was
the CFO
during the good days.
CFO wasn't responsible for Blockbuster's closing.
Right.
I feel like, but you're right, Don. I probably would pick something else.
Yeah.
Like an acquisitions manager or something.
Yeah.
Something that people don't know what it means.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be a good
Like
one.
some fancy terminology. Yeah, I used to say I'm a field operations manager,
Right. Oh,
which is short for ASD.
right. Oh, field ops. Whoa, she's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Let's do it. Yeah. Yeah, no, I know how to, experience that going bankrupt. I know how to get transition companies through that.
Yeah. Right. You
You
go
take the
down,
good,
yeah.
you take the bad, you take them both, and there
You
you
want
have
to still be rich when this is over? Hire me.
That's right. That's right. I manage the closure of Blockbuster stores to minimize the financial loss.
Yep.
That's it. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. But there's still one Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Drew told me that the other day. I was like, what?
Yeah. They made a TV show about it, which is funny.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Here's another neat thing. This isn't on paper, but I've got to throw it out to you. We've created a great relationship with the Volo Museum out there. And we're going to be doing a Let's Talk Local. We probably got a 15-part series with Jim Wadilla, right?
Cool.
And so the first one is where it takes place is absolutely awesome. And some of the stories, I'm flabbergasted by, because this, if you need something to do for Father's Day, go out to Volo Museum. It's amazing. It's no longer just an auto museum. It's huge. It's amazing. It's $25. It's great. But watch for Let's Talk Local, and our Volo series is going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Which is great. Financial relocation specialist, a reallocation specialist for a very important long-term client. Yeah, me.
Yeah.
It's so true. Oh no, I managed money.
Private portfolios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah.
No.
For a really VIP client, anonymous.
Yeah, they prefer me not to bring it up, but
Mhm.
I did a great job.
But trust me, if you did talk to them, they'd rave about me.
Yeah, or it's it is a really cool place. And Don, you've been gone for a couple of years now. It's even they've done so much to it. It's ridiculous. And then I just lost my train of thought. So it's because I went back to the Volo Museum.
Yeah.
What were we saying?
So the resume as a piece of paper.
Yeah.
We put a lot of stock into the resume, the diploma. There's a lot that we look at and put stock into right off the bat.
Yeah.
There's other things, other pieces of paper we put stock into, like a sources cited page, for instance.
Oh,
Something that everybody needs, right?
Right.
That we can actually look at and be like, oh, I see you did your work.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh yeah, we had to do that back in the day, right?
That piece of paper, like the paper I wrote, means nothing. That page at the end, though, makes everything I wrote mean something.
Yeah.
That piece of paper at the end meant more than the whole paper.
Right. That's so true, because now I know you didn't plagiarize, or I can see if you plagiarize.
Yeah.
Right.
Or if I just
Was
made up
this your
shit off
thought?
the top of my head and you're like,
Mhm.
I think you're crazy.
Yeah,
And then
was
you
this
look at
yours?
the back of my paper and you're like, well, you fucking cited a fucking internet. You cited a podcaster as your source. So
Right.
what is this? But if you're like, oh, you cited the Library of Congress. Okay, well, maybe I guess I'll have to look that up now.
Yeah.
That's a credible source.
That is a credible source, because it is. Now,
Paper holds so much value. It's like money. It's like $5, $2 a buck. I feel like it's the same when it comes to resume or education.
Yeah.
Because $100 bill would be what, a doctoral degree?
right.
Well, we write
You
on
know.
where we write
600
100 on a bill on a piece of paper, and that piece of paper means whatever we write on it.
Right.
And then we trade those back and forth like they actually have value,
Right.
even though it's just a perceived value that we've agreed upon. And that value changes all the time.
Yeah, actually, too, Shayna, now they've got scooters and wheelchairs and things. If you do have mobility issues, you'd be surprised if it's been a while since you've been there. It's, I mean, yeah, they've got train rides and
They have a really cool Jurassic Park and Titanic area. It's really kid friendly, and it's also got a lot of history.
a lot of history, a lot of cool stories out there.
Oh, that's
Absolutely.
a great day trip.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's really a place where you're going to get tired, but it's really a place you'd want to spend more than you may want to just spend a day in the Jurassic area because now they've got live reptiles and things in there. So it's really pretty cool.
Yeah.
Really pretty cool. Yeah, the cars are awesome. They sell 1,000 cars a year there. You know that?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
lot. I was like, holy
I got a
smokes.
buddy of mine just bought an old classic Corvette. Technically my brother-in-law
Yeah,
bought an old classic Corvette from them. Really cool.
it,
I didn't know they sold cars until he bought one.
Right.
I was like, oh, okay.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Really, 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 really neat place. But watch that. Watch for that. We'll have some things out there, but watch for that on Let's Talk Local. Which it's going to be fun because it's going to be ongoing. There's so much there. It's going to be ongoing. It's going to be cool. Let's see. Glad to hear Don Tango lessons with the bride.
Yeah, congrats on the new knee.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Glad it's getting you around from A to B.
And he's probably got a piece of paper that says yeah, so he probably got a piece of paper that says he can park close or something now.
Probably.
Hanging from his rearview mirror. If you don't see that, you're going to get mad at somebody.
Oh yeah.
But if you got that piece of paper hanging there, you're going to be like, "Oh,
Yeah. Better have that hanging there.
I can't judge that person. I know that it looks like they're walking fine, but
Don says let's not push it because he's always been more of a waltz guy.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right. Yeah, Tango and Cash. Listen, we're right on the back end of this show. And we've been talking about putting a lot of faith and the power of a piece of paper. What is the one piece of paper that you give just a ton of power to?
Money.
You're going money.
Yeah. The only like that I put so much because you need it so much, and the less you have of it, the more you need of it. The more value it has to you. Money is the one piece of paper that I constantly.
So you're a cash guy.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, that's why I'm like, money probably might have used to be, but now I don't. I mean, everything. I don't even know. I look. It says, "Up, yep, you got that deposited. Yep, you have this amount of money."
Working for 20 years in tips, I had a whole cash handling system at home, like the lockbox and money sorters and counters and bill strappers and everything, because all of my money came through in cash and then had to be brought to the bank.
Yeah. What about you, Kels?
I would honestly have to say my 3-point shooting state certification, because I sat my entire junior year in high school because of a conflict between a coach and myself. And so that kind of just taught me like a life lesson. No matter how much I fall, like I can always get back up. So I just kind of look at it as more like inspirational than anything.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Don says today, valuable paper is a personally written thank you card or a card just to say hi to encourage someone, because it is rare.
Yeah.
Better not write in cursive. Yeah, that's all.
But no, like I think about the other piece of paper in my life. We talked about marriage licenses. That piece of paper means nothing to me.
Shayna says a love letter my dad sent to my mom. That's cool.
Now that's a great piece of paper.
Right. I mean, Don's is too, right? All of yours are, right? Probably, the one that means the most is the marriage license, right? 33 years ago, 22 years old, never thought I'd, I've been married longer than I was alive when I got married, right? now. And that's pretty cool. So more than half of my life, this woman has been my best friend, the love of my life, the apple of my eye, and so and maybe she stuck around because it's on a piece of paper. I don't know.
I mean, we got
Right.
I've got
Yeah. Second is a yard sale or estate sale. I like that too.
we never we the piece, it's so strange because the piece of paper for marriage never meant anything to me because I have my wedding ring, like, you've got your tattoo,
Yeah.
like I know what Sam means to me.
Right.
I found our marriage certificate the other day when I was cleaning, and I just threw it in a drawer, and I was like, all right. The piece of paper meant nothing because like we got married without it. We went and did that at the courthouse later. Like the piece of paper is for the government.
Right.
I know what Sam means to me. We had our ceremony. We exchanged our rings. Like,
Yeah.
It's just
It's like that phrase cocktail napkin. Like you're telling me you're going to take a will on a napkin for somebody?
Right. But it's on paper.
Yeah.
It's on paper.
Yeah, that's somebody asked me, I posted that. Somebody asked me what my, my best accomplishment has been, and it's been being able to wake up next to Alice every morning.
Yeah.
Right, for 33 years. That's it. Well, there were some years there that I snored real loud before my CPAP, and I had to sleep out in the living
For the Vader mask.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Don, OKC is going to win.
Well, OKC, no way.
Yes.
It's Pacers in 6. The agreement on a napkin might be more likely to be honored. It's true. Yeah, the title of your home is a good one too when it's paid off.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
That is a good feeling. All right, listen, we got to run. Come back at 3. Spend some time with 2 gregarious guys, and they're talking about childhood chaos and family baggage. Going to be a good show. Until then, everybody, enjoy the day. Be good. Make sure you know where your pieces of paper are that are important, and put them in a lock box, a burn box, do something like that. And remember, paper is powerful.
Yeah.